All right, is everyone logged in and is everyone co-host? You ready to start?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to let everyone in. All right, please make sure your hats are off. Hats are not allowed in the courtroom unless there's good cause. The other people. All right, everyone, please make sure you are on mute. And Fernando Ramos, I have no idea what I'm looking at. There you are.
Sorry, Judge.
All right, everyone, make sure you're on mute. And for those of you who are listed as iPhone, Zoom user, we have been doing Zoom for over 3 years. If you cannot change your Zoom or ID to your name, then you will need to appear in person in the 187 District Court. So if you're listed as iPhone, Zoom user, and you're not listed as your name, you're going to need to appear in court. So if you cannot do that by now, then that's what's going to end up happening. All right, you're in a courtroom. These are the rules of the court. You are in a courtroom. Anything you could not do if you were physically in the courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. So that means if you are at your home, you need to find a stationary place. If you're at work, you need to let your employer know that you have court today and you need to take your break. Find a stationary place. You're not allowed to be cooking. You're not allowed to be operating machinery. You're not allowed to be doing any of that. Mr. Anthony Miranda, is there a reason why you have on a ball cap? All right, to all of the attorneys, it will make things move quicker if you will add to your name the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. Thank you, John Coots. Excellent work. So to everyone who is an accused or defendant, if you do not behave appropriately on this Zoom screen, your Zoom privileges will be revoked. No questions asked. And attorneys, I know you see your clients who have their screen labeled as iPhone, Zoom user, and it doesn't have their name. You may have my permission to call them and tell them that they need to have their appropriate name listed. If they do not, they're going to have to appear in person in court today. And that what that will entail is you will need to get an Uber or a Lyft to come downtown, or either take the Via bus. The Via bus still doesn't give change. And when you need change, you don't have it. So that bus ride is probably going to cost you anywhere from $5 to $20. If you drive downtown, you're going to find a lot of one-ways, a lot of construction. If you're able to find parking, you're going to find that parking is very expensive. To attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small you think that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put it in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. She'll need to know whether it's regular probation or deferred adjudication or whether it is time. If your client is on probation, again, she will need to know what the agreement is for that, and you'll need to send it to her. If your client is on bond, she'll need your client's email address, and so will the state's attorneys. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it's going to ask for everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. Your attorneys are probably going to want to speak with the prosecutors before they speak to you. So please do not raise your hand and ask if you should be in a breakout room, because the only way you will be in a breakout room is if your attorney is requesting for you to go to that breakout room. So everyone, my understanding, today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. Can't get any better than that other than it actually being Friday. So let's not turn this into a difficult Monday. Let's be kind and nice to each other and be patient. By the way, all the inmates at the jail, you're not allowed to use a chat box or internet. If you do, you're going to get sent back, and we'll probably see you in 60 to 90 days. And attorneys, here's a reminder for you. I know you already know this. Do not call, do not email, do not chat asking Ms. Ferguson for a continuance or for you to be excused. I'm the only person to do that. Attorneys, if your client is an inmate and you go into a breakout room with them, you cannot leave the inmate in the breakout room by themselves. The jail will think that they have completed everything and they will send them away. And it's very difficult to get them back once they've been sent away. So don't do that. All right, this is the order in which the attorneys will appear. And to all of those who are accused, I'm going to call your attorney's name, not your name. If you don't hear your attorney's name, it's because they're probably zooming in or they had to appear in person in another court, and they will be here as quickly as possible. All right, Eric DeWalt, Arnulfo Ortiz, Natasha Torres, Ron Ross, Michael Latimer, Brian Kimbrough, Michael Valachek, George Schaefer, John Kuntz, Joseph Stateson, Adam Cobbs, Fernando Ramos, Jesse Esparza. I don't know if that's the attorney. It is not. Thank you, Mr. Esparza. Keith Engelke, Jaime Adolpe, Matthew Finch, Ms. Bloomster, Rano Foneri, David Woodard, Raimundo Alamon, and Alfonso Cabanos. Ms. Teresa Costa, I know you are here. We're going to get to you first. Is there any other attorney who is present and their name was not called?
Yes, Judge. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Elizabeth Russell. I'm here for Mr. Crumpton.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes.
No, just for, okay.
No. I'm just asking for the attorney's name. Any other attorney who is here that I did not call your name?
Yes, Your Honor. Sid Greehey. I'm here for defendant Dylan Smith.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Teresa Coles Davila.
Yes, Judge.
Which client are you here for?
I'm sorry. Give me a moment. They just sent me the order. It's defendant Lara Sanchez, Hector Enrique Lara Sanchez.
Okay, let me see if I can find Hector Sanchez.
Judge, I think that might be an immigration attorney,
Yes.
and we were to meet on Monday. I had some personal problems, couldn't make it on Monday.
That's okay. I'm trying to find your client. Just 1 second. Is your client in custody or on bond?
He's in custody, Your Honor. I just saw him somewhere on the board.
He's 16D.
There he is.
All right. So, Mr. Lara, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. And Mr. Ramos, I'll send you to number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
And Ms. Coles Davila, I'll send you to number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right. Eric DeWalt.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yes, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Arnulfo Ortiz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, I'll send you to number 5.
Matthew Finch is the attorney who's getting out of this case.
Yeah, Judge, I have a motion to withdraw, and Mr. Ortiz did file a notice of appearance this morning, so it might be a moot issue.
All right, and Mr. Finch, I want to say I filed I want to think I signed your motion. Just 1 moment. Ms. Ferguson, has the motion been signed on Travis Molden, please? All right, that motion has been filed. Mr. Finch, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ortiz, I'll be in touch if you have any questions.
All right, and
Thank you.
Mr. Arnulfo Ortiz, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Natasha Torres.
Yes, Your Honor. Apologize. Sorry about that.
I'll send you to number 6.
Thank you.
Ron Ross, who is trying to join us. Michael Latimer. I'll send you to
Yes, Your
7.
Honor. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Brian Crimrow, you're going to number 8. She's going to remain to confer. Michael Velacek.
Yes, Your Honor.
Michael Velacek, I'm going to send
Yes,
you to number
Judge.
9.
9, okay.
George Schaefer, I'm going to send you
Yes.
to number 10.
Thank you, Your Honor.
John Kuntz, I'll send you number 11.
Thank you, Judge.
Joseph Stateson, I'll send you to number 12.
Thank you, Judge.
Adam Cobbs,
Yes, Judge.
yes. Let me see, where are you? I'm trying to, Adam Cobbs, you didn't add your client's name. Who is your client?
He's on there, Douglas Sanders.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
CTD, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 13.
Yep.
Keith Engelkey.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 14.
Thank you.
Jaime Adape, I'll send you to number 15.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Ms. Bloomster,
Yes, Judge.
is your client criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial.
I'll send you to number 16.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Rano Forneri,
Yes, Your Honor.
is your client criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial, Judge.
I'll send you to number 17.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. David Woodard,
Yes, Judge.
all right, I will send you to number 18. Raimundo Alamon. Raimundo Alamon. Alfonso
Yes, Your Honor.
Cabanas.
Your Honor, Alemana was not,
Who do you have?
Alemana was a Lupe Peña Ortiz. Criminal trial, he's an inmate.
All right, I'm gonna send you to number 19.
Thank you.
Alfonso Cabanas.
Good afternoon, Judge. I have Jose Gonzalez with Criminal Trial Division.
I'll send you to number 20.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Russell.
Yes, Judge. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Family violence on Crumpton, Judge.
All right, to the courtroom, can you sign in, please?
Sign in on my phone. I just didn't want that interference. Okay, that's fine. Judge, I can sign in on my phone and go step into one of the rooms out in the hallway.
Okay, all right, thank you. Sid Greeley, is your client criminal trial division or family violence?
I believe he's CTD, Your Honor.
What is he charged with?
Burglary with the intent to commit assault. I'm not sure. I believe it's someone random.
All right, it's Dylan Smith, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's criminal trial division. I'll send you to breakout room number 21.
Thank you.
Judy Wimmer.
Good afternoon, Judge. I have Arturo Rivera. I believe he's CTD.
I'll send you to 22.
Thank you.
All right, Elizabeth Russell.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, who's your client?
Mr. Matthew Crumpton.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Family violence, Judge.
All right, I'll send you to 23. Bobby Gibbia.
Good afternoon, Judge. I have Migdalia Salazar, and that is family violence.
All right, thank you for changing your name. I'll send you to 24. All right, Dan Vela.
Hello, Your Honor. Good afternoon. This is Mr. Romo right beside me.
What's the first name?
Gerardo, Gerardo. It was a 2 o'clock hearing.
Okay, we will take you up at 2. And it's family violence, correct?
Yes. Well, I have some witnesses who are also here, Your Honor, on Zoom.
All right, just give us a moment. Arnulfo Ortiz.
Your Honor, I visited with ADA Sparks. We spoke briefly about the case. We acknowledged that an offer had been previously made, and we've agreed to discuss it further. And she's going to confer with a co-counsel over there. And that's our announcement.
Okay, where's your client?
Mr.
here.
There you go.
Travis Moulton,
Yes, ma'am.
is that you?
Can't hear you.
All right, Mr. Moulton, I'm not gonna allow you to use Zoom anymore. It appears that you can change your backgrounds.
Oh, you want
you
me
can
to
do
take it
all
off?
these other things, but you're not able to place your name on Zoom. So you're not gonna be allowed to use Zoom anymore. Do you understand?
Oh, I can take it off, man. I
No,
didn't
no,
know.
no, no. What I'm saying is you're not going to be allowed to use Zoom anymore because you're not able to put your name up, but you can do fancy backgrounds.
No, my name is on Zoom.
No, it's Zoom user. Is your name Mr. Zoom user? I think not.
Ma'am, this is my first time ever using this. I've been
Mr. Moulton, please
incarcerated.
be quiet. May I speak on his behalf for 1 second, Your Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Moulton just came out of 4 years custody, in the federal system. And it's our first appearance. If the court will allow me, I will teach him. This will never happen again.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, because you know we've been doing this since 2019 or 20.
I know, Your Honor. Thank God I have a secretary. I don't know how to use it, but she does. Thank you, Your Honor. I'll teach Mr. Molden. Thank you.
All right, so has an offer been tendered?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I know this is your first setting with Mr. Molden, is that correct?
This is true, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson on Mr. Molden, can I have a 30-day reset, please? All right, the case is being recalled. The case is already set for May 31st, Mr. Ortiz.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You and your client are excused.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
No apology needed. Your attorney explained it very well.
I'm
But
sorry.
just
This is
work
my
on that.
first time.
That's okay, Mr. Molden, but I want you to understand the reason why I insist that everyone have their names up, because you're only concentrating rightfully so on your case and your attorney. But on this screen, I have 5 pages of screen, and there are 20 people on each screen that I have. So when you have your name as a Zoom user, it's difficult for me, or it takes more time for me to assign you to a breakout room because I don't know who you are. But that's okay. Your attorney said he's going to work with you on that.
I apologize. They just set this up so I can be on here. I apologize.
Apology accepted. We'll see you back on May 31st by Zoom. Have it worked out, okay?
Yes, ma'am. You have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. You too. Enjoy San Francisco.
And Judge, on the 31st, it will be in person.
Okay. Just let let his attorney know, Ms. Ferguson, that that's an in-person day for everybody.
I'll send him an email.
Okay. Joseph Stateson.
Hello, Judge. I finished conferring with Marcus on Manuel Suarez. This client is for Joanne de Hoyos. I'm covering for her. She's out of county. We received an offer, and I told Marcus that I had apologized. I didn't check if we had everything, but if we can have time to go over the offer, and I'll double check discovery. And if there's something missing,
your client?
He's on bond. His screen is empty, but he was there. He was in front of his camera earlier. I apologize.
That's okay. You want to call him and see where he is?
If you could let me stop my video.
Yes.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Adrian Perez. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 25.
Thank you.
Brian Kimbrough.
Yes, Your Honor. This is a motion to modify conditions of probation to allow a portable device instead of a scram. There's no MTR or anything. I spoke to Mr. Groomer. He has no objection. I verified the probation officer has no objection. This is a case where Mr. Armendariz is being supervised in Guadalupe County. And he has an occupation. He is an arborist, which involves climbing trees. And he has to wear hooks, I guess, or.
All right, Mr. Armendariz, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you cut down trees as well? I know sometimes arborists are just trimming, but do you remove trees?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you need a permit to do that in the state of Texas?
Through my boss, I believe so. Yes, we do.
All right, these are questions I just had. So you're saying that the state has no objection, Mr. Kimbrough?
That's correct.
All right, Mr. Almendarez, keep up the good work and be careful when you're climbing trees.
Thank you. I will appreciate that.
All right. You're excused, Mr. Kimbrough,
Thank you, Your Honor.
and your client is excused as well.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, this is Michael Villarreal. Can you make me a co-host?
Yes. And you can take those as well. And Mr. Villarreal, could you please go to the breakout room with Elizabeth? She is supposed to be a witness in County Court at Law number 15. She's in 23.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Stateson?
Judge, I had texted Joanne's paralegal to see if she can contact him. I did see Mr. Suarez's arm come into view. Manuel Suarez, if you can hear us, please step in front of your camera.
You want to unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So
Okay,
what
yes,
was
ma'am.
the remote for that was in your hand? What was that for?
Oh, it's for I was turning down. I'm on monitor. I'm here locked at the apartment, but I have the remote for the TV to turn it on. It's a small apartment, it's efficiency, so we only got one room, so everything's right here. I don't got no office or anything I can step in to be by myself, I'm on monitor on my house arrest.
Yes, you need to make sure that you remain on the Zoom screen until you're excused. Do you understand?
Yeah, I got that, but I didn't want to be in anybody else's business. I just stood on the side, waiting for my name,
No, I don't know. And you will be respectful to the court, and the answers are yes or no.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am. Go ahead.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
No, there's no yes, man, go ahead, because I will proceed as I choose. What I'm telling you is you will be respectful to the court. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
It's not yeah, it's yes or no. Do you
Yes,
understand?
ma'am. Yes.
All right, Mr. Stateson, have you
Judge.
received an offer?
Yeah, we received an offer today. I would like time for Mr. Hoyos to review the offer with Mr. Suarez.
Have you received all the discovery?
I was speaking with Marcus about this. We think we did, but I will double check and I'll email Marcus if we're missing something, and I'll let the court know if motions need to be filed.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a plea deadline date and a jury trial date for Mr. Suarez, please. All right, your client's plea deadline date and jury trial date is June 6th. Mr. Suarez, you need to appear in person in court on, June 7th. You need to appear in person. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. What time?
9 a.m.
Thank you.
Ms. Ferguson, can you make sure it's noted on the docket that he's appeared to appear in person?
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused. All right, Mr. Stewart, you're here for compliance.
Yes, I was just notified of a court appearance. I wasn't sure what it was for. Super last minute.
Well, if it's last minute, it's because there are some issues. So let me see what the issue is. All right, Mr. Stewart, it appears that you're asking for removal of the ignition interlock. Is that correct?
Yes, it is for the Intoxilock because I have the same exact device, the portable at home device through Smart Start. And I can't afford to have both of the same things. And also I've had exceeding issues with Intoxilock, which is why you actually ordered me to get Smart Start and not Intoxilock.
All right, I thought that I had already ordered that because it says during your compliance hearing on January 28th, the probationer was instructed to obtain the Smart Start mobile device instead of the Intoxilock.
That's correct. I do have the Smart Start device, but I never got a removal order for Intoxilock.
All right. All right, Rebecca.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you can prepare the order for that.
Yes, ma'am, the Intoxilock removal.
Yes, but he's to be on Smart Start.
Okay, I'll make a note, Judge.
All right.
He's free to go. I don't need his signature or anything.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You're welcome. Kelly Piddle, who do you have?
Judge, I have Christopher Salinas.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
I think it's CTV, Judge. It's an FDR.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 26.
Is it possible to get a copy of the VR and the court summary from probation?
All right, yes. If you'll put your email in the chat box to CLO Reyes, she'll get that to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. George Schaefer.
Yes, Your Honor, I've spoken with the prosecutors. This case needs to be set on the trial docket, please. I represent Jesse Esparza Jr.
All right, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor, other than the possibility of some exculpating evidence showing me the criminal history of the complainants and witnesses. And unfortunately, Michelle is working at home, so she doesn't have the file in front of her.
Well, Judge, we usually run them again prior to trial anyhow.
Right.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, on Jesse Esparza, could I have a jury trial date, please? All right, it's going to be June 7th. Mr. Esparza.
Judge, give me 1 second, Judge. It won't be June 7th. Give me 1 second.
All right, it's going to be June 14th at 9 a.m. Mr. Esparza, you'll need to appear in person. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
That means you have to appear in the courtroom there at the courthouse,
At
Jesse.
300 De La Rosa. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, 4th floor, 187 District Court. You've
Yes,
been
ma'am.
here a lot. You've learned that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You are excused and your attorney is excused.
Thank you,
All
Your
right, thank you,
Honor.
Your
Have
Honor.
a good afternoon.
Thank you, you too. All right, Ron Ross.
Good afternoon, Judge. I need to talk to Ryan Groomer. Judge, we're down about 900 items of discovery. We're down to about the last 6. And I need to talk to Ryan and see where we are on those.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 27.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, any other attorney who has not been assigned?
Rafael Leal, Judge.
Rafael Leal, who do you have?
Ignacio Carrion,
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division.
I'll send you to breakout room number 28.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I haven't been assigned either. If I could, may I make a suggestion?
My understanding is that you're here for a hearing. Is there someone you need to confer with before your hearing?
Well, maybe it won't need a hearing, Your Honor, if we all can come to an agreement. I have Mr. Jeffrey Martinez. I have here. I have Ms. Toby Tripp, Toby David Tripp here.
Yeah, and we will have your hearing because you may come to an agreement with the state, but that doesn't mean that the court is going to follow that agreement.
Okay. Can I at least confer with the state though?
Yes.
If there's someone there?
Yes, of course. I'll see you number 29.
Good afternoon, Judge. This is Sean Sheffield. When you have a
Just
moment. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Elizabeth Russell on Mr. Compton.
Yes, Judge. On Mr. Crumpton, the state is requesting the affidavit of non-prosecution be resent to them, and they want time to reach out to the complaining witness.
Is your client Crumpton or Compton?
Crumpton, Judge.
Okay.
He's
All right,
in
Miss-
custody. Yes, Judge.
I see him. Ms. Ferguson or Mr. Crumpton, can I get a 3-week reset, please? All right, we'll see you back on June 1st.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Do you need to speak with Mr. Crumpton? I'm assuming she doesn't need to speak with you, Mr. Crumpton. So we'll see you back on June 1st. Can you unmute yourself?
Thank you.
Yes, all right. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Yes, Norma L30 can go back. All right, any attorneys? Yes, Mr. Shaughnessy.
Yes, Your Honor, I have two matters. One is Jasmine Hardaway, and the other I'm here on co-counsel with Mr. Cabanas on Joe Gonzalez.
All right, Hardaway, is that family violence or criminal trial division?
Criminal Trial Division, Mr. Sanders has been driving that train.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 30.
30. Roger that.
Sean Sheffield.
Yes, Your Honor. I have Rami Naholi.
All right, I'll send you to 31.
Actually, Your Honor, he's in federal custody, Your Honor.
What is the status of that?
I don't know, Judge. I just found out about this late yesterday and have not been able to check.
Has this case been indicted?
One of them has, Judge.
I don't have that file.
Judge, it looks like all 3 of them were indicted.
All right, to the clerks, I'm going to send Mr. Sean Sheffield to breakout room number 1. If you could please bring those files to me, it would be appreciated.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Adam Cobbs.
Good afternoon, Judge. I've got a Douglas Sanders. He is on. I've conferred with him. I've also conferred with Brittany Sparks. She's going to request an additional video.
Where's your client?
Well, I hope he's still on. He was. Oh, you're killed. Did anybody see him earlier? I did. Judge, he was on. I can try and reach him and tell him log back in. I told him to leave the breakout room, not the meeting.
All right. I see him. He's still in the breakout room.
Okay, that could be possible.
All right. What is happening with Mr. Sanders?
Brittany's going to request an additional video. So I think this is the first setting and we're still in the discovery phase, so to speak. She wants to check to see if one exists, and if so, we'll be able to confer after that.
So they haven't been prepared to make an offer to you, correct? Because they're waiting on the video or to see if a video is existing.
Correct.
All right, just a moment. Inmate Estrada, I need you to go to breakout room number 14 with your attorney, please. I'm sorry, number 17 with your attorney. Estrada. All right, Adam Combs, let me find your person on the docket.
And I do see Mr. Sanders.
Do you hear this? Sit it right there. No. All right. Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Sanders, can I have a 30-day reset, please? All right, you're coming back on June 7th.
June 7th. I've got that down, Judge. Douglas, did you hear that? And
he's on mute. You need to help him learn how to use Zoom. Otherwise, he's going to have to start appearing in person.
Hello.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sanders. You're excused. See you back on June 7th.
Judge, will it be by Zoom on that date? Do you know?
It's in person.
It'll be in person?
Yes.
Okay. Doug, in person on that date, okay?
9 o'clock.
I believe so.
Yes, 9 a.m., Mr. Sanders.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes. All right, Sid Rehe.
I conferred on Dylan Smith. The state is asking for a little bit more time to contact the complaining witness. They didn't make an offer today because they need to talk to the complaining witness.
Do you have all the discovery?
Nathaniel Navy is actually the lead counsel on this case. I'm kind of filling in for him, but I believe he's downloaded all the discovery that's available.
All right, Norma, Mr. Smith, can I have a 3-week reset? All right, that's going to be June 2nd. Ms. Ferguson, is that in person? All right, you're going to come back on June 2nd. And that will be in person, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
And the courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa.
Yes, ma'am.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, and the party who is on Rami, Mr. Sheffield?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so where's your client?
He's in federal custody in Laredo is what I've been told.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Rami and see if we can see what is happening with the federal issue? All right, we're going to come back on June 7th. That'll be in person, Mr. Sheffield.
Thank
Right,
you,
you're
Judge.
excused.
Judge, if I find that he's still in custody, should I just let the court know prior to that?
Yes, but you'll still need to be in court in person.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And everyone just give me a moment. Do y'all have the correct docket? Because I don't see Mr. Rami Yanda on the
On
docket.
the recall page.
He's on the recall, Judge, on the first page of the recall.
Towards the bottom.
Thanks, Rebecca. All right, Teresa Coles-Davila,
Yes, Judge.
and you were with Fernando Ramos, correct?
Yes.
Let me see where Fernando is.
He's
Still
still
in-
talking. Yeah, he's still talking to his client. He told me to let you know that I was done and that he's going to get me the documents that I need to review. And then once I've had a chance to do that, I'll send him a Padilla letter.
All right, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes,
All righty. Bye.
bye. All right, Adalpe.
Hello, Judge. I have conferred on the MTR for Christian Lewis. With the court's approval, we're going to ask for a 2 to do.
Well,
And
I don't
just-
need to, you need to just put that in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
I did. She actually gave me a date of June 2nd.
Sorry, that message was supposed to go to the judge and I'm doing your paperwork right now.
Oh, okay. Are we able to do that today, the MTR? or
Yes,
do-
that will be done today. All right, Mr. Cabanas.
Good afternoon, Judge. I've been conferring with Mr. Groomer on Mr. Jose Gonzalez's case. We've been in contact regarding discovery. It appears that the state has 2 videos that they just got, I believe it was this week. So he's going to share those with me and Mr. Shaughnessy. Hopefully
And
this
where's
week.
your client? Is your client in a breakout room?
No, he should have exited, Judge. I asked him to go to the main room.
I'm right here in the main room.
All right, so what is happening with Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been conferring with Mr. Groomer. The state just has in their possession 2 new videos that they have to share with me regarding discovery. And so Mr. Groomer is going to make those available by tomorrow, I believe.
All right, but have you been given an offer?
Not yet, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall Mr. Gonzalez for 3 weeks, please. All right, that's going to be on June 6th, and it'll be in person.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
You're
Norman
there.
Bullock, no, Gonzalez can go back. He's 14R. Mr. Shaughnessy, you're still waiting to confer on Miss Hardaway?
No, I spoke to Mr. Sanders, Your Honor, and I think he wanted to come in and talk to the court with me.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Your Honor, with respect to Miss Hardaway, within the last 8 to 10 days, I got the last of the discovery. It appears to be the last of the discovery that the state was able to pry out of the hands of the federal government at Brooke Army Medical Center. I'd like a chance to go through the discovery, discuss it with my client, and it's my understanding that the state of Texas is investigating their options with respect to a plea bargain offer, but they have not made one as of yet.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you set this for jury trial and a plea deadline date, please? All right, your jury trial date is August 2nd, and that's your plea deadline date. Also, you'll need to appear in person in court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you on August 2nd. You are excused.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Wait, did Ms. Chauncey, did you ask them?
I'm working on them with the state. I'll get back to you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Be excused.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Latimer.
Yes, Your Honor. I have completed the review of over 1,400 pages of CPS records. I do have an offer today from the state. I will have to go down to the DA's office to take a look at 2 forensic interviews and an audio interviews of the complainants.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Ayala, can I have a jury trial date and a plea deadline date, please? All right, your jury trial date is going to be July 26th. And that is your plea deadline date as well. And you'll need to appear in person in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m.
July 26th. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're excused. Eric DeWalt.
Yes, Your Honor. I just received an offer from Michael and in family violence, and we wanted to accept it. I just can't find him on the Zoom or how to tell them
All right,
yes.
he may be in a breakout room.
I just got here, Judge, sorry. But I heard what Mr. DeWalt said, and I'll work on the paperwork.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. And I'll send you and your client to, if you go back to breakout room number 4, Mr. DeWalt.
But before you, can you just have him message me his email address and his client's email address so that I can send the paperwork?
Yes.
Michael Villacek.
Yes, Your Honor. I've conferred on Philip Washington on his 4 pending cases with Mr. Groomer.
Yes.
We do have an offer, which we're rejecting at this time. I received my last discovery notice on April 22nd concerning the 3873B case. So I haven't had a chance to look at all of that yet. But I believe that that's going to be the last of the discovery that is going to be forthcoming on these cases.
Okay. Mr. Miranda, I sent you to a breakout room. Breakout room number 4. Anthony Miranda, go to breakout room number 4.
I'll help him.
Your
Your Honor.
attorney will meet you there. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Philip Washington, I need a 30-day reset, please. All right, June 6th is going to be your plea deadline date, Mr. Washington.
Thank you, Judge.
After that, you're welcome. After that point, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements.
June 6th.
Yes, June 6th. And that'll be in person. Is that correct, Ms. Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and that will be in person.
Very good.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day. Norma Phillips, 17A can go back.
Okay. I'm excused, Judge.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, are we ready for the hearing on Mr. Vela's client? Daniel Vela.
Judge, they asked to be put in breakout room 12. They're still discussing some matters.
Okay. Mr. Benary?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. Can I get a breakout room with probation?
What was your previous breakout room number, please?
17, Your Honor.
All right. If you go to number 13,
Yes,
and
Judge.
probation, if you could go to breakout room number 13, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Alaman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
Where am I?
I'm speaking to you, Mr. Alaman. What's happening with your
Oh,
case?
Your Honor, we got an offer. My client is willing to accept. What's that up? Sorry, my machine thinks it wants to help me. We have an offer But Your Honor, I have to tell you that this is the first time I have ever spoken to my client, because I was under the impression that he had another lawyer, but apparently he had hired that person for the previous. So this is actually the first time I saw him, and I really have no excuse.
All right, where is Mr. Pena?
He's in jail.
No, I mean on the Zoom screen. Mr. Pena, can you please speak up?
Judge, it's Mr. Ortiz, it's Guadalupe Ortiz.
Okay, he has Pena as it, so.
Pena Ortiz has two names. That's him, Guadalupe Ortiz. The prosecutor thought was a woman. I said, no, that's a popular name for both men and women.
All right, Mr. Raimundo Alaman, if you'll let the state know that your client has decided to accept the offer. Who was the prosecutor on Ortiz? All right, Mr. Alaman is saying he's accepting the offer. Mr. Alaman, if you'll go back to number 19, your client is waiting there for you. All right, Jaime Aldape.
Hello, Judge, I'm here.
Yes. We're going to take up your matter just now. Just give me a second. Who's the prosecutor on Christian Lewis, please?
Marcus.
Court is calling 2020 CR 5704C, State of Texas versus Christian Lewis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Jaime Aldape for Christian Lewis.
And are you Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
All right, we're
Yes.
proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, did you sign a document entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video? Did you review it with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Christian Pierre Lewis who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 5704C for the offense of robbery on August 5th, 2020 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
From the First Amendment motion, condition number 1, on or about the 13th day of March, 2022, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Christian Pierre Lewis committed the offense of fail ID in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. Condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Christian Pierre Lewis did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January and February 2022 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. We'll waive the others.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, did you understand by pleading true to violation of conditions 1 and 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations of conditions 1 and 5?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find 1 and 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Here's Judge, we're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate, revoke, and sentence him to 2 years TDC. We have agreed to TIC the new number 1 case, which is County report 680-915.
All right, is that the agreement, Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lewis, I do not understand. Why could you not follow the conditions of probation?
I apologize, Your Honor. I made
I mean,
a
I'm
big
sure you're
mistake.
apologizing, but no, you didn't make a big mistake. You made some choices. They happen to be horrible choices, but I'm trying to figure out why you didn't complete deferred adjudication. Like, what is your problem?
I don't got no excuse, Your Honor.
Well, why won't you? Because it's pretty clear. Number 5 is you didn't report. So why didn't you report?
Your Honor, he may be a little reticent because I told him that I prepared him for this question and I was telling him not to sort of make excuses, just offer the full explanation. He was homeless. He was having issues with money. He's not trying to state that that's the reason, but that is part of the struggle that he had.
Well, here's the thing. He has a child. That's why I ordered parenting classes. So this is what ends up happening. He was placed on probation and the agreement was for 4 years deferred adjudication. And I made some conditions, mainly that the co-defendants, he wasn't to have any contact with them. He was to either obtain a higher degree or go to trade school. He was to complete parenting classes and find a job because he has a child to support.
Yeah.
And all he had to do was report weekly. So we had that. And then we come back on January 8th and there's a violation of condition number 5, his not reporting. And I'm sure if he had homeless issues or didn't have a phone or whatever went wrong, the court accepted that. And they wanted the moral recognition therapy. Then we came back on August 17, 2021, and the state withdrew the motion and added certain conditions. And then we came back on September 7th. The motion was withdrawn because that's what the state agreed to do. And I show on here that I admonished him. So this lecture that I'm giving him now, that's the same lecture I'm giving him. I'm sorry, this lecture that I'm giving him now, that's the same lecture that I gave him then. And I don't understand why he's not doing anything.
Yeah, he doesn't have a good excuse, Judge. I've kind of gone over the ins and outs of him. He does, however, have, throughout all the process that the court's been listing, he has 269 days in credit that he's in jail, that he's been sitting in jail. So we discussed.
He just wants to take the easy way out.
Well, if jail being or prison being the easy way, then yes, Judge.
Do you want to go to prison, Mr. Lewis? Because here's the thing, I don't want to keep doing this dance where you come up with some lame excuse for why you can't report. So if you can't do probation, yes, I will just send you to prison. And you can go on your merry way. Everyone will forget your name and move on to the next case. Because there are thousands of cases that are in this court and tens of thousands of cases that are throughout the courthouse. So you can be happy, go to prison and be done.
Yes, Your Honor.
So do you want to go to prison?
You want her to accept the deal, is that correct, Christian?
Yes, but I really have no excuse. But
Well, here's the thing, Mr. Lewis, this is where we are. You're young, you haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing. You have a young child on the way. You're going to get out of prison. What you're going to end up doing when you get out of prison is you're going to have more children and you're not going to be able to take care of them. And the government, i.e. the taxpayers, which would include myself, Brenna, and everybody else on this screen who has a job, will be taking care of your children. If I were to continue you would be on GPS. And if you were to violate, then guess what? The full range of punishment for you is 20 years. And who knows, the state may not offer that. But regardless what the state offer and what your attorney agrees to, I don't have to agree to it. So
GPS?
Yes, you will be on GPS, which means that you would not be roaming wherever you want to go and missing appointments because we would know where you would be. But if you want to take your 2 years, because as your attorney said, you already have all this time in, you can do that, you can be done. But I will tell you this, you will be going from the Bexar County Jail to TDC unless they decide to parole you from the jail. So it's your choice. These are decisions that you need to make. But I will tell you, once you have a felony conviction, things are not so easy. So what do you wish to do?
Okay, so with GPS, I got one question. How quick will I be able to be out?
I have no idea because your attorney is saying that you do not have a place to stay and they're not going to release you unless you have a place to stay.
That, and remember, Christian, the recommendation, the alternative recommendation was to continue on probation, but with inpatient 120 days ISF. So the judge isn't saying the alternative is you're going to get released with a monitor today. That would most likely be after 4 months of being in the ISF facility. You understand?
Yes.
I mean, it's completely, Mr. Lewis, it's completely up to you. People make decisions and they think they shouldn't have made them. I will let you go back into a breakout room and talk with your attorney if you wish to. But I will tell you, if you do have a drug or alcohol problem, you're not going to be released from custody. Because if the reason why you have not been reporting and you've been making bad decisions is because you have a drug or alcohol problem, we're going to take care of that.
That's one thing I can actually vouch for myself. I don't have no drug or alcohol problem. The thing I have a problem with is keeping task and making sure I take my epilepsy medicine. I did get arrested on that day with my medicine bottle, and along with that, paper proof of me being in the hospital on that day. And along with that, they took me straight to the hospital after having a seizure.
Mr. Lewis, here's the thing. This is not the first time you have not reported. And I don't think you can honestly sit here and tell me that every motion to revoke you've had where you have not reported, you've had a seizure.
No,
So
no,
I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney. And let me just tell you right now, you can either go to prison for the 2 years or either you can be continued, in which case, if probation is saying that you need inpatient treatment, you'll be going to inpatient treatment.
I think he has the answer. Do you want to do
the 2 years?
He wants to take the 2.
All right. Are you waiving your right to appeal, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The court then is finding 1 and 5 true, finding you guilty, not granting community supervision.
I'll be right.
Sentencing you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Tyrese Jackson, Bradley Ebo, and Lamont Curry. And there's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Tell you what's entitled trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lewis, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. I hope you become a decent father for your child. Norma Lewis, L29 can go back.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. Ed Bartholomew, who do you have?
I believe I got a reset from today. She was going to do it. I just want to make sure my client showed up.
Which case is this?
It's on the 130 docket.
What's your client's name?
Just a minute, Judge. I'm sorry. I don't have my calendar with me with all this tab. I'm in Victoria.
All right, it's a he. It's Brian Medina.
That's it.
I called in yesterday, Your Honor. I was just checking in today.
All right, Mr. Bartholomew, I'm going to send you to breakout room 1 very quickly with Ms. Ferguson, and then you can be excused from there. And I'm going to send your client to breakout room number 1. Ms. Ferguson will meet you both there.
Thank you. I appreciate your consideration, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. All right, Cornelius Cox.
Good afternoon, Judge. I just wanted to see, wanted to talk to one of your family violence prosecutors, Judge.
On what case?
It's not actually on the docket, but the only way I can get them is to come here and see if they have the time. If they don't have the time, that's fine.
Okay, what's your client's name?
His name is Matthew Salazar. And the cause number is 2022-3264.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Ms. Bloomster?
Yes, Judge. I confirmed with my client. She wants to do her time.
All right, if you'll get the, send the chat to Ms. Ferguson, she will get that to you.
Yeah, thanks.
And where is your client? Ah, there she is. Thank you. All right, Ms. Bagley, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. And Ms. Bloomster, I'm going to send you to number 1. Ms. Ferguson is number 1, and she'll get the information to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ron Ross.
Judge Ryan Groomer and I, we have a tentative meeting tomorrow to finish up the discovery issues. We would like to have this reset if we could and recall it in a week or 2 weeks. At that time, hopefully we can announce that the discovery is all taken care of.
All right, Ryan Groomer, are you here?
Yes, Judge. Give me a second.
Yes.
Yes.
What time do you need to get this information to Mr. Ross? What setting are you requesting?
I was muted, Judge. Sorry. Even if we just do 2 weeks, Judge, I think we have something penciled in for tomorrow morning. We finally got our schedules on pace. So, I mean, just in case tomorrow doesn't happen, maybe just another extra week for us to meet and make sure these last few items are with the defense.
All right, is 3 weeks enough time, Mr. Ross and Mr. Groomer?
Well, that's enough for me. It's whatever Ryan's going to need.
Yes, that's more than fine, Judge.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 3-week reset on Gregory Morrison, please? Just 1 moment. All right, your next court date is going to be June 6th, and that'll be in person.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll see you in the morning, Ryan. I got your text.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morrison.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, Roland Garcia.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have Anthony Villarreal. It's a CTD case. This is our first setting.
All right, what is happening with Mr. Villarreal?
I'd like to confer with the state. I think there might still be some outstanding discovery.
Okay. Have you spoken to the state?
I have not. This is our first setting.
Have you spoken to them today or no?
No, I have not.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you, Judge.
Dan Vela. Bobby Gebbia.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm here for Migdalia Salazar. That is a family violence case. I've conferred with Michelle Hayden. We've received a tentative plea bargain offer. I'd like the opportunity to go over that with Ms. Salazar. We have received all the discovery. I think we were set today for a discovery compliance hearing. She has given us all of the discovery, including the CPS records. And I know you have plea deadlines. I'd like to have a setting before our plea deadline. Michelle had indicated that she wants to take a look at it a little bit closer. We did get a tentative plea there.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you call Migdalia Salazar in 2 weeks, please? All right, we're going to come back on May 26th.
Judge, is that May 26th our plea deadline, or is that just to come back to confer?
That's to come back to confer, and that'll be by Zoom.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You and your client are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kelly Piddle.
Yes, Judge. I've conferred with the state. We have an agreement on the MTR to withdraw it and alter and amend.
Who's your client?
Christopher Salinas.
All right, so they are withdrawing the motion to revoke?
I guess the only question I had, Judge, and probation didn't know either, if GPS is ordered as a condition of the probation, is that due up front because he's in custody right now, or is that a delayed payment, or how does that work?
No, how that's going to work is that they're not going to release him until there is a verified location to set up GPS.
Okay, it's tracking only, so I didn't know if that was a requirement of verified location.
Yes.
I guess the money is the issue. Is the main thing, Judge. He has a location to go to.
Okay. What I can do is I'll ask that the fees be waived.
Oh, I was going to ask if the court would do that since he's indigent. That'd be great.
All right. So if you can talk to the state, because I haven't received that.
Sure, I will. I'll go in with Brittany and just hammer that down, and she'll send it to her.
All right, and if you will make sure that is done, then we'll take care of it, Mr. Piddle.
Okay, thank you so much, Judge.
You're welcome. And Norma, can you find out where Mr. Vela is? Because he is not in the breakout room. David Woodard.
Judge, I have Jason Reeves. I conferred with Mr. Villarreal, and he gave me an initial offer this afternoon.
All right, have you spoken with Mr. Reeves?
I have.
All right, and what is happening?
Well, we'd like to know if we can get another setting, because this was the first time we got this offer.
And have you received all the discovery?
Judge, I do need to make an appointment with Mr. Villarreal to review the child safe video. And he has given me the information of who I need to contact.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Reeves? And is that in person or by Zoom? All right, we're going to see you back on June 7th. That'll be in person, and that will be your plea deadline date.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. Norma, you can let them know that Mr. Reeves can go back. And he is 14P. Mr. Engelkey?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
We have an agreement, and the agreement is.
I don't need to know what the agreement is. You need to put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
Okay. I'll do that.
All right. Then as soon as I receive that, I will take that matter up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Torres.
Yes, Your Honor. Same announcement. I sent Norma a message.
All right, thank you. All right, who are the parties on Ortiz?
That's right.
Judge, is this Keith's client? Or
No,
some-
this is Raimundo Alamon.
I believe that's Brittany. One second, Judge.
Raimundo Aleman and Brittany.
Okay, Judge.
Who is going to do it?
I'll step in.
All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 10382, State of Texas versus Guadalupe Pena Ortiz. The third, could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Raimundo Aleman for Mr. Pena Ortiz, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Ortiz?
I'm good, Your Honor. How are you?
Yes, I'm great. Are you Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
Objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ortiz, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to appear by video. Mr. Ortiz, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Guadalupe Pena Ortiz III who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 10382 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 to 4 grams on March 6, 2020 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Condition number 18, on or about the 23rd day of March, 2022, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Guadalupe Pena Ortiz III did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer to be referred for SATIV treatment as ordered by the court in violation of condition number 18.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
State,
We'll waive the rest.
any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 18, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition 18?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of 18 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge, we're asking that you deny the motion. We are going with probation's recommendation, which was to amend for SATIV if it wasn't already ordered, but we're asking also that he remain in custody until a bed is available.
Mr. Alamana, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, that is. Mr. Ortiz, however, is very anxious to be sent as soon as possible because he apparently has a medical condition that requires treatment.
Well, if he has a medical condition, then SATIV is not going to accept him. Maybe safe peace special needs. Rebecca?
Mr. Ortiz.
Excuse me?
No. Rebecca Reyes? Just one moment. All right, what I can tell you, if he has a medical condition, I don't know what his medical condition is. I'm not asking him to say what his medical condition is, but SATIV is not going to accept him. But I'll follow your agreement, deny an alternate mean conditions to include SATIV. If not SATIV, then felony drug court. And if not felony drug court, then it'll be safe peace special needs.
Judge, I believe Rebecca is back now.
All right,
Judge.
Ms. Reyes, on Mr. Ortiz,
Yes.
his attorney says that he has a medical condition. That's why he wants to quickly go to SATIV. But if he has a medical condition, SATIV may not accept him.
That's correct.
So what I'm going to do with him, I'll deny the motion, alternate mean conditions. If SATIV doesn't accept him, which we know they will not, then I want him referred to felony drug court. If felony drug court doesn't accept him, then safe peace special needs, and he's to remain in custody until accepted.
Okay.
And Ms. Ferguson, can I have a phantom date of 30 days, Mr. Ortiz? That'll make sure that someone has seen you, okay? But if we put the actual date in the system will show that you have a court date and they won't transfer you. So I don't want you to be behind on that. So let me just get a 30-day reset from the coordinator. All right, it's going to be June 16th. And that'll be an update on your transfer. All right, Mr. Pena, good luck to you. I'm going to send you to breakout room number.
Judge, can we go to number 9? I'm with another client in there.
Yes, I'll send you to number 9. Mr. Ortiz, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too.
Your Honor, do I have to return on June the 15th?
No, you do not. And you can be excused, or you can go to breakout room number 9 with your client.
I have to go because I have another case.
All right, thank you. Jonathan?
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Hey, Judge, can I be put back in a breakout room with my client, Frederick Condell?
Could I be?
All right, Frederick Condell.
He's in the
Yes,
jail.
I'll move you out of breakout room number 10. Mr. Condell, if you could go to 10.
Thank you.
I need to speak with Mr. Sanders.
All right, if you put that in the chat box to Mr. Sanders, he'll send you to the appropriate breakout room. Mr. Ramos?
Okay, thank you.
Judge, we've conducted our
business with the immigration lawyer. Very good attorney. Thank you for appointing her. And I've talked to my client. I asked him to come back, and he was there briefly, and then he just walked away.
Okay.
I didn't want to go get crosswise with your original instructions. But we
No.
have finished talking about everything we needed to talk to about, and we'd like to be excused.
All right, just one moment. Let me give you a
Yes, ma'am.
reset.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Laura, can I have a 30-day reset, please? All right, Mr. Ramos, we're gonna have you back on June 16th, and that'll be by Zoom.
I'm sorry, 15th or 16th?
16th.
Thank you, ma'am. May I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, are we ready to proceed on Mr. Vela's case? Daniel Vela, are you ready to proceed? All right, we have an issue with audio for Mr. Vela. All right, Mr. DeWalt.
Hello, Your Honor. We submitted paperwork. I put a chat to Ms. Norma. I was not sure if everything went through the application for deferred, but we're ready. We've signed everything and sent it back.
All right, the clerk is in breakout room number 4 with your client. If you go to number 4, and he'll swear your client in.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Adrian Perez.
Yes, Your Honor. I have Robert Bell. We got a plea offer. We do have more discovery forthcoming, specifically medical records and a legible copy of the same. The same that we have is not readable. I would ask for a reset to.
Where's your client?
He's in custody, Your Honor. I left him in a break room somewhere when I was just talking.
No,
to him.
my orders were do not leave people who are in custody in breakout rooms, because when they're left in breakout rooms by themselves, the deputies assume that they have completed their business and they take them back.
Let me go get him, Judge. I'm
No,
sorry.
I just requested him to come out. We'll see if he's still in his chair or not.
Yes, I'm right here, Judge.
All right, thank you. Norma, on
Sorry, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Bell, what discovery are you missing, Mr. Perez, or still needs to be updated?
I'm told there's medical records coming from a pediatrician's office, and the same is not readable. I'm told that the DA is going to try to get a clean copy of the same.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Bell, please? All right, we're going to come back on June 13th, and that'll be in person.
June 13th, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Ms.
Maybe
Ferguson, Mr. Bell can go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Vela, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. All right, who are the parties on Vela's case, please? Who's the prosecutor?
That's a good question. I was in a breakout room. I have Miss Dr. Toby David Tripp. I have Jeffrey Martinez, and I have Angelina Ruiz. we were all in a breakout, and me, we were all in a breakout room, and we were waiting for a prosecutor, and it's either, I would assume, Mr.
No, the problem
Villarreal.
is when you go in the breakout room with that many people, the state thinks you're conferring with your client or someone else.
Oh, no, I put it in the chat. I put this person, this one, and the prosecutor.
Yes.
And
so it's a family violence case. And to the state, this is for his client to have in-person contact. So state, are you ready to proceed?
Judge, I'm sorry, if I could just, I haven't looked at this due to being busy this week. And so if you could just give me a couple minutes, I'll look at it and I can get ready.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Michael, do you want to go in a breakout room with all the rest of us?
Let me put you in a breakout room, just you and me, just so that there's some too many voices and I can't understand everybody. So I'm just gonna put you and me in a breakout room.
Mr. Funari, what is happening with your case?
Judge, we are ready.
Okay, have you signed all the paperwork?
No, I believe Ms. Ferguson was going to send it to us.
Okay. So
It's been sent, Judge.
Okay.
All right, I'll send you both to number 11 because you and your client will have to sign it. Mr. Estrada, if you'll go to 11, please.
Judge, I'm not seeing the paperwork. Can we just verify that it was, I guess, which email address?
You need to put that in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Garcia.
Hello, Judge. I conferred with the state on Mr. Anthony Villarreal's case. I let them know some items of discovery that I am looking for to see whether or not it's been turned over yet. There's some pretty extensive discovery on it, and they're going to be looking into that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Villarreal, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery, please? All right, we're going to come back on June 9th, and that'll be by Zoom.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
And Anthony can log out as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's a shadow that's behind him. I don't know if that's Casper or... Look over your shoulder. Brenda, I'm telling you, Brenda, there was a weird shadow. Oh, Leo Gonzalez. I'm so sorry. I'm just noticing you there.
It's okay, Your Honor. I was a little behind, unfortunately, but I need to talk to one of the prosecutors regarding Mr. Quinones.
All right, I'll send you to number 5.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kelly Piddle.
Yes, Judge. We're all done. Can I be excused?
I have not received the motion to withdraw yet.
Okay, I think they're still preparing it. I can stay on until that occurs.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Is there an Aubrey Reed here? All right, are we ready on Daniel Vela's case?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's ready.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Vela, what is your client's full name, please?
Gerardo. Gerardo G. Romo, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 8394, State of Texas versus Gerardo Ramo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Michael Villarreal for the state.
for the defense?
Daniel Bell on behalf of Mr. Romo, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Ramo?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state or the defense?
And from the defense, I'm sorry, not from the state.
None
Any
from the
objection?
defense, Your Honor. None from
All
the
right, the
defense.
court is in receipt of a motion to amend conditions of deferred adjudication to allow, I believe, for contact with a minor child. Is that correct, defense?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And that's to allow for in-person contact. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
I have, Your Honor.
Are you ready to proceed?
I am.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may proceed.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like the court to take judicial notice of an agreed order to modify visits in 2021 PA 00854, which has been signed off and agreed to by a CPS attorney, an assistant district attorney, Mr. Lowe, and Mr. Martinez, who's the attorney ad litem for the child.
All right, any objections to the court taking judicial notice of the agreed order that's attached to the defendant's motion to amend conditions of deferred adjudication, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, next, Mr. Vela.
Your Honor, I'd like to call Mr. Jeffrey Martinez.
All right, Mr. Martinez, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, Attorney Martinez, and if you could state your name for the record, please.
Your Honor, Jeffrey Martinez.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, Jeffrey, well, would you state your name, sir? I'm sorry, you already did that. Yes, I'm sorry, Jeffrey. Okay, and Mr. Martinez, are you currently the attorney ad litem for a child named Jude Romo?
That's correct.
And when did you get appointed? Are you appointed or were you appointed by the state to represent him?
I was appointed when the CPS case began.
And do you recall approximately when that was?
I do not, but if you give me a minute, I can tell you. It would have been approximately May 27th of 2021.
Okay. So as of May, are we currently now in May of 2022?
That's correct.
So you've been on this case roughly a year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you had contact with this child?
Yes, sir.
And have you had contact, have you in reviewing that, do you think it's in the best interest of this child for him to start having in-person contacts with Mr. Romo?
Yes, sir.
And do you think it's, I think I'll pass the witness at this time, Your Honor.
Any questions?
Just a few questions, Judge. Mr. Martinez, the child that you represent, is that the same child that is the victim for the case that Mr. Romo is on currently probation on?
It is not.
And so you represent this child, and it is the biological child of Mr. Romo, correct?
It is the adopted child.
Okay, adopted child. Okay. Nevertheless, the legal parent of the child, correct?
Correct.
That's all the questions I have, Judge.
All right, Mr. Martinez, are you aware of the nature of the offense and the facts of the offense for which Mr. Romo entered a plea of?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you aware of the facts of that case?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been provided a police report, have reviewed it, and discussed it with the Department of Family Protective Services.
All right. Any other questions, Mr. Vela?
I'd like just a couple of other questions. Do you think that the child and Mr. Romo are bonded?
I do, very much so.
And do you think that not just in the best interest of the child, but also in his emotional well-being, his all around physical and emotional and mental well-being, it's in the best interest for him to start seeing Mr. Romo?
I do. That's one of the key components of this case is Jude's behavioral issues. When he's able to see his father, those are lessened, and we're hoping they'll continue to lessen and he'll continue to make progress with in-person visits that have also been approved by the family therapist. Jude's individual therapist, the child's individual therapist, was the first person to approve that. And then I did, and so has the department.
When was the last time that Mr. Romo has had, that you can recall, that Mr. Romo has had in-person contact with this child?
It would have been prior to May of 2021. And then from reviewing the affidavit that was filed in this case, so it's not my personal knowledge, at that time, he did not have in-person contact either. Jude was living with different families for the 6 months preceding May 2021.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, how old is this child, Jude, please?
Your Honor, he's 10 years old.
2?
10.
10, okay, all right, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Martinez excused or subject for recall?
It's subject to recall, Your Honor, but I don't know if I'll have anything for him, but subject to recall.
All right, call your next witness.
I'd like to call Dr. Toby David Tripp, Your Honor.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you could state your name for the record, please.
Toby David Tripp.
All right. State, I'm sorry, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Doctor, how are you involved in well, first of all, are you involved in the CPS case regarding Jude Romo?
Yes, I am the case manager for the case.
Case manager, meaning what? What are your roles for this particular case?
I provide services for Mr. Romo and services for Jude, everybody monthly to check up on how they're doing. Make sure everything is going right with the family. Make sure Jude is getting his counseling and the things he needs in his foster home.
And you previously agreed to modify visits on the case that you're involved in over on the CPS side to allow the child and Mr. Romo in-person visits. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And do you think it's in the best interest of the child for that to happen?
Yes, sir.
And are you asking this court, we're now in the criminal side, not the civil side. I know you've already asked the civil side for that relief. Is that correct?
Correct.
And now you're asking the court over on the criminal side for that same relief. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are you in agreement that it be happening? Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Dr. David Tripp, what is, just matter of curiosity, what do you have a doctorate in?
Doctor of social work.
Okay. And are you employed with CPS?
Yes.
Okay. And so is your role within CPS as a manager of this case to do with the social work aspect of the case?
Yeah. I'm just the caseworker.
Okay.
To follow the family.
Okay. And as far as your interaction with the family, approximately how much time have you spent with the family in regards to your involvement through the CPS side?
Monthly, I spend about hour and a half with Jude, and Mr. Romo and I either talk or text twice or more a week to let him know what's going on, and he always keeps me abreast on what's going on. I talk to the therapist monthly, and the foster mom.
And how many months have you been a case manager?
Excuse me?
How many months have you been a case manager?
For this case?
Yes.
Oh gosh. I think I got the case August.
August of 2021.
Yes.
Okay. And as far as the underlying case that Mr. Romo is on probation for, are you aware of the facts and circumstances surrounding that case?
Yes.
Okay. And so did you take those facts into consideration in determining whether Mr. Romo's contact with his son was in the best interest of the child?
Yes.
Okay. And so knowing that you still believe that it is the best interest of the child for Mr. Romo to have contact with the child?
Yes, sir.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Dr. Tripp. Any other witnesses?
I'd like to call Armandina Ruiz, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ruiz, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand.
Thank you.
And state your name for the record, please.
My name is Armandina Ruiz.
All right, defense.
Hi, Ms. Ruiz. Are you currently involved in the CPS matter involving Jude Romo?
Yes, I am.
And what is your role in that case?
I am the CPS legal supervisor.
And how long have you been involved in this case?
I have been involved in this case for about a year.
And on the CPS side, which is the case that you're involved in, are you in agreement that it's in the best interest of the child for Mr. Romo to have in-person contact with Jude Romo?
Yes, I am.
And were you aware that an order was signed back on March 29th, 2022 on the case that you're involved in, which allowed for that?
Yes, I am aware of that.
Okay. And are you in agreement now asking this court to allow for that same modification?
Yes, I am.
The modification, the difference would be, this would be a modification of his conditions of deferred adjudication. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And were you aware of the facts and circumstances that Mr. Romo, of his criminal case, Mr. Romo's criminal case?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and that doesn't change your opinion of this decision?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, I'll pass the witness around.
Just a couple questions, Judge. Ms. Ruiz, when did the department get involved concerning Mr. Ramo and his contact with his child?
So it was legally, it was about a year ago, exactly 12 months.
Okay. And why did CPS become involved with the relationship between Gerardo, Mr. Ramo, and his son?
So we got involved because an investigation was received related to physical abuse against the foster parents that Mr. Romo had placed his child Jude with. Mr. Romo had placed his child with these foster parents who were his friends because he could not have contact with his child any longer due to his criminal case.
Okay, so CPS got involved because Mr. Romo placed his children with some foster parents, and those foster parents were alleged to have physically abused the child. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And so the reason for the children being removed from the home and placed into foster care, or whether that be voluntary or involuntary, was not the basis of any type of sexual allegations with the child.
That is correct.
Out of curiosity, has this child been screened through CPS to ensure that there has been no any type of sexual conduct or sexual abuse as it relates to him?
Yes, he has.
Okay. And what was the result of that review?
We don't have any indication that Jude has ever been sexually abused in his life.
I have no further questions. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, call your next witness.
Those are all the witnesses I have, Your Honor.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Your Honor, I think we've presented evidence to show that the state has signed off on this agreement. A representative from the state has signed off on this agreement over on the CPS side. We presented, the court took judicial notice of that court order on 2021 PA 00854. Assistant District Attorney Alan Lowe signed that order for testimony from the caseworker for the attorney ad litem for the child, Mr. Martinez, that this is in the best interest of the child. The case, Dr. David Tripp also mentioned this is in the best interest of the child. The CPS legal caseworker who supervises it also thinks this is the best interest of the child. All indications are, Your Honor, that this child has gone through a lot and is ready to start bonding again with his father. He's been acting out, no question about it, since he's been away from his dad. They've seen the bonding that is beneficial for him, and we're asking the court to consider that and allow this man to see his son and his son to see his father.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. So as I read the order as it relates to in the interest of Jude Allen Garza Romo, it says that they agree to modify this order and permit in-person visitations to occur. I don't know if that's necessarily incongruent with the Sexual Offender Management Unit Child Safety Zone conditions as it relates to QR and S, as those state that there's no unsupervised visits with their minor children. If there's some ambiguity, I mean, the state obviously is not trying to penalize Mr. Romo or his child, and it appears that everybody is in agreement that his best interest of the child in order for him to have some contact with his father. But I'm not necessarily sure that this order to modify visitation without further information is incongruent with those. And so if there needs to be some further clarification, I think we can just have an order that essentially mirrors the CPS order as the court took judicial notice of, to ensure that he is allowed to have in-person visitation with the child as it relates to this.
This is the court's concern. The stipulated evidence in this case is that there was a child who I believe was 12 or 13. And this is evidence that's been stipulated to in his plea to the court. Mr. Ramo informed the mother of that child that he was going to the restroom. Instead of going to the restroom, Mr. Ramo went into this young boy's room, rubbed on his penis, came back sweating, smelled his hand. And now I have people before me who seem to act as though this didn't happen. And now I'm being asked to give him visitation with a child who is 10 years old. And the child in this criminal case was 12 or 13 years old. Has anyone talked to the counselor of the sex offending classes that Mr. Romo is taking on the criminal side?
I have, Your Honor, but I don't- yeah, I was, he's doing, all the CPS caseworkers have also conferred with the probation department. The probation department has been at several CPS hearings when we've had them. Mr. Fuentes has appeared on those hearings when we've had.
Where's probation? To say that they have no concern about him having in-person contact with this child.
He's done the polygraphs, he's jumped through every.
No, my question is where is the probation officer on the criminal side to say that he has no concerns about Mr. Romo having contact with this child? And just so everyone knows, I've done CPS cases. I do believe that when somebody adopts a child, that then they are legally that person's parent, even though they're not biologically that person's parent. And what I know is in this case where he entered a plea, he was not the biological father of the child. He went into the child's bedroom, rubbed on the child's back and penis, asked the child not to inform anyone. He came out of that room, stared directly into the mother of that child's face, sniffed his hand, and were sweating. So I'm trying to figure out, do people actually really know the facts of this criminal case? Where is the person, the therapist who's working with him on this criminal case to tell the court that they have no concern for the fear or safety of the child that everybody wants him to have contact with? And I think CPS do great work. I think their caseworkers do great work. I think they're overworked and underpaid. But the fact that everybody's telling me that Mr. Romo's child was placed with someone who I guess Mr. Romo gave as someone to study by CPS, and then his child is sent there, and the child has issues being placed there because of the treatment he received there, tells me that there's a little issue with reviewing for placements.
May I address that, Your Honor, when the court's ready?
Yes.
Your Honor, the child has been with him since birth. This isn't a child that he adopted, 3, 4, 5 years old. So when you take a child that's been with him from birth and then remove that child, the child's it's a traumatic experience for that child. So that child he couldn't be with the child after caring for him for all those years. He did what he had to do to comply with the court's order on the criminal side, comply with the order, and then he had to place him somewhere and did that so he can comply on this order. That happened. There was something that happened there. This, again, going back to it, this child has been through a lot since he's been.
So
placed
what about
on probation.
what is I hear your argument, counselor, and I'm internalizing. So the complainant in this criminal case in which he's on probation for, was there any type of trauma that child went through?
There's no question, Your Honor. In fact, I feel like this is the second time we're litigating this because the judge over in the CPS said those exact same words at his first hearing. So, and we litigated that issue. That's why he hasn't seen this child. That's why he went through the therapy sessions. That's why he did everything they asked him to do. That's why finally got a court order. Nobody here has any concerns that his biological child is in any danger. And the court's heard that testimony today. But the court, even a representative of the state, also signed off on it, which is just the same thing as a probation officer. They're both representatives of the state. Every person that has seen this case and I've presented evidence to show the court has said this is in the best interest of this child.
All right, the motion is denied. Is there anything else?
Nothing further from the state.
All right, thank you. Who are the parties on Damian Estrada?
Hey, Your Honor, Ronald Plenary.
Marcus.
All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 6518 State of Texas versus Damian Estrada. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Ronald Fenari.
And are you Mr. Estrada?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Estrada, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Damian Estrada who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 6518 for the offense of aggravated robbery on January 29th, 2020 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Condition number 21, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Damian Estrada did then and there failed to report weekly to the supervision officers as directed for the weeks of July 19th, 2021, August 2nd, 2021, September 22nd, 2021, October 14th, 2021, January 4th, 2022, January 10th, 2022, January 18th, 2022, and February 14th, 2022, in violation of condition number 21.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
We'll waive the others.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Estrada, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 21, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 21?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 21 true. Is there an agreement?
There's Judge, we are asking that you deny the motion, alter and amend its conditions to order status.
All right, is that the agreement?
That is the agreement, Your Honor.
Mr. Estrada, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, but I would like to entitle to ask you to hear me out and I like to speak for myself for the.
Hear you out as to what?
Ma'am?
Hear you out as to what issue?
Well, I just have something I have wrote for you that I would like you to hear my circumstances of what was going on in my life and just for you to be informed about what.
All right, Mr. Estrada, I don't mind being informed, but let me ask you this. Is what you're going to read to me is so that I can consider something other than inpatient treatment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because that's not going to happen. You've come to an agreement with the state, and that agreement is for you to go to SATA. I'm looking at the entirety of your motion to revoke.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it appears that you can't stop using drugs. Even though you know you could be facing up to life in prison, you've chosen to use drugs. That's a problem. The fact that you miss reporting for that entire amount of time, that's a problem.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's where we are. So if you don't want to follow the state's agreement, you can throw yourself on the mercy of the court, which may result into you going to prison. Do you understand? So which would you like to do?
I will take the agreement.
All right, we're going to send you to SATA. He's to remain in custody until he's transferred to SATA.
How long would that be, ma'am?
We will make sure that we keep an update to make sure when that happens, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a phantom setting for Mr. Estrada for 30 days, please? And what the court is going to do, as previously stated, finding 21 true, deny the motion and alter and amend conditions to include SATA and you to remain in custody until transferred. And your next date, Mr. Fenari, will be June 16th.
Got it, Your Honor. Thank you.
And what would that be for, ma'am?
That's just to make sure that you've been transferred, Mr. Estrada.
Okay.
All right, and Mr. Estrada, I'm going to send you and you, Mr. Fenari, to breakout room number 1. Mr. Fenari, if you'll please remain in breakout room number 1 until probation comes there.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, who are the parties on Bagley?
I'm here, Judge Jeannie Looster.
All right,
And-
is that for time or is it for something else?
Time.
Time, Judge.
All right, so Rebecca, you can then go to breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 3218 State of Texas versus Rosalind Bagley. If I can have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
for the defense.
Jeannie Bloomster.
And are you Miss Bagley?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
None from the state.
Ms. Bagley, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to appear by video. Ms. Bagley, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Rosalind Bagley who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 3218 for the offense of terroristic threat causing fear on November 29, 2021 for a term of 1 year?
Yes, yes. It's something that the light should be shining. Yes, ma'am. And someone calling you guys up, you know, innocently. For sure. Are you serious? You don't know what you're looking at? Like, people with glasses. No? Nope. That was the only reason why you guys said, because I was pulling up to my appointment to see my daughter, that I was no longer able to see my daughter. And I told you guys, I am on my deathbed. How do you guys want me to go to a drug?
All right, everyone, sorry about that. My allergies are just, so we'll go back on the record. Are you the same Rosalind Bagley who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 3218 for the offense of terroristic threat causing fear on November 29, 2021 for a term of 1 year? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge. Violated condition number 4 that in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Rosalind Bagley did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of December 2021 in violation of condition number 4.
All right, how do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'd waive the remaining conditions, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
All right, just one moment. There have been some things that have happened on this case. All right, so there's an issue with the motion to revoke. I'm looking at the judgment. And she was placed on deferred adjudication. And it's not, she's not on regular probation unless something has happened during the pendency of this case when I wasn't present. She's on deferred adjudication. Does everyone understand? So her range of punishment is up to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail.
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, Judge, I did see that, Judge. I didn't really completely understand it either. I think they just might have filed a motion with the wrong name at the top. It should have been a motion to enter adjudication of guilt, but I think provided the agreement we have, I don't think it's, I don't think it'll be affected by that difference.
All right. So this is what I need to know from you, Ms. Bagley. Ms. Bagley, do you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We'd ask you to enter an adjudication of guilt and revoke Ms. Bagley's probation and sentence her to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail with credit for any time she's already served while on probation. Or
Is
prior
that
to
the-
probation.
I'm sorry, what else did you say, Mr. Berman?
Just the last thing, I said with credit for any time she served while on probation or prior to while the case was pending as well.
All right, is that your agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Bagley, is that your agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
For times, yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court is finding you guilty, will not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Vicky, B-I-C-K-Y, Ruvalcaba, R-U-V-A-L-C-A-B-A. Let me show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Bagley. Do better, okay?
I will try, and I will try hard.
All right, don't try. Let's just do it, okay?
We'll see.
All right,
See
good
what
luck to
happens.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You're excused.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. John Coots.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
No, I just remember Barney Fife saying, "Putting in pain." Ask me again, I'll tell you the same. You and I are the only people who know this. All right.
But I look a lot older than you, Judge. So we'll see.
All right, what is
Judge,
happening with your case?
I have Frederick Condell. I've been conferring with the prosecution and with the probation department, and unfortunately, we don't have an agreement with regard to what they want to have happen. We're obviously going to ask to continue him. He will plead true to some of the violations, and then we're going to ask you to place him into rehab.
Okay, so what will need to happen is he just needs to fill out a trial court certification form and also consent to appear by video.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and let me send you all to a breakout room. Ms. Ferguson, I need a consent to plea and a trial court certification for Mr. Kuntz and his client. I'll send you to number 6.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who are the parties on Anthony Miranda?
Eric DeWalt.
And Michael Villarreal, Judge.
And Natasha Torres, who are you here for? And Mr. Piddle, I did receive that motion to withdraw, so you are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Renaming myself Angel Orozco. So sorry. That's my cat.
Okay.
I should have closed the door.
Wait, that's your cat? Is that your cat opening your door? Is that the sound your cat is making?
That's the so I didn't close the door fully because I had to get on another hearing, and she's every chance she gets, she likes to come into my home office. So that was her coming in.
Okay. Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's criminal trial. There you go.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay, I think we're just waiting on paperwork with Mr. Engelkey.
Okay. All right, we will see what is going on with the paperwork.
Okay, not a problem.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 10434, State of Texas versus Anthony Miranda. Can our parties announced for the record for the state,
Michael Villarreal for the state.
for the defense?
Eric DeWalt, I represent Mr. Miranda.
And are you Mr. Miranda?
Yes. Yes, Your
We're
Honor.
proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state or the defense?
And from the state.
None from defense.
Mr. Miranda, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I believe I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Miranda, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Oh, Your Honor, the state's waiving the repeat offender allegation and proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married or cohabitated.
Any
No
objections?
objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Miranda, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married, or cohabitation as a Class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently confident and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he is, Your Honor.
Mr. Miranda, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married, or cohabitation. There's a $750 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, the BIPP course, and that there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State is of a plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be 80 hours community service restitution and no contact with
Xiomara.
how do you pronounce it?
Xiomara, I believe.
Xiomara, Xiomara, Arilo.
Ariola.
Thank you. Arreola. I'm still working on learning to roll my R's. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, marriage, or cohabitation, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, State Opera States Exhibit number 1 and its attachments.
Your Honor, we've had an opportunity to go over that in its entirety. No objections to its admittance.
All right, Mr. Miranda, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, the right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Please, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Not at this time, Your Honor. We've talked with, well, here I am talking to them. I said no. Talked with the state and conferred and believe this is in the best interest of my client. We'd hope you follow the plea agreement.
All right, Mr. Miranda, are you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do?
I build transmissions for the Toyota Tundras and the Tacomas, actually.
All right, are you involved in a relationship now?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he is up on child support and does pay child support.
All right, well, that's something you should be doing, Mr. Miranda. If you have children, you should be paying child support. No questions asked, you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative. I don't do drugs at all.
Oh, well, that's good. I appreciate that. All right, this is the court's order. As previously stated, the court is finding there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of assault, bodily injury, marriage, cohabitation. The court will place you on 2 years deferred adjudication, $750 fine that will be probated. The BIPP course, there's an affirmative finding of family violence, 80 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to obtain the COVID vaccination, but if you have and you provide proof of it, 40 of those hours will be deducted. Parenting classes. Once you complete parenting classes, the remainder of your community service hours will be waived. There's to be no contact with, as I look at you, Michael.
Xiomara.
Xiomara.
Ariola.
Ariola. So there's to be no contact with Xiomara Ariola. And Rebecca, did you get the spelling of that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. There's to be regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if for some reason you can't report by Zoom, you'll need to report in person. There's to be regular UAs, or you can do the patch. Field visits, regular 1 time per month. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
Judge, the proof of employment.
Thank you. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Mr. Miranda, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Miranda, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Miranda, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Mr. Miranda, here's the thing. How old are you?
32 years old, Your Honor.
All right, so you're not super young. Relationships come and they go, right?
Yes.
So Miss Ariola does not want to be a relationship with you. That relationship is over.
Yes.
And when you're parenting children, and they will teach you that in parenting class, in a relationship where you're not together, guess what? You're not supposed to be asking the children who the mother is seeing, just like she's not supposed to be asking them, who's the girlfriend, who's been over here today? Not any of your business. And she can see whomever she wants to see and date whomever she wants to date because she's an adult, you're an adult. Your relationship with her is over. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Miranda.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over conditions with you. Mr. DeWalt, you can go to number 1 or you can be excused. All right, and I do have the consent on Mr. Orozco. And Mr. Condell. So who are the parties on Condell?
Judge, it's me and Michelle Hayden.
All right, we can take that up then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, court is calling 2019 CR 0950, State of Texas versus Frederick Condell. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
John Kuntz for Mr. Condell.
All right, we're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor, we've signed the consent.
All right, Mr. Condell, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Condell, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Frederick Condell who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 0950 for the offense of injury to disabled body injury? That's what this says. Just one second.
Our next contestant is Jane. Next question. Your checking account comes with credit monitoring and alerts. Okay, Jane, your final question. Your checking account receives up to $500 in mobile phone coverage. Oh, yeah, you're set.
All right, I believe it's supposed to be to an injury to a disabled person, bodily injury. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, I'm asking the attorneys.
Yes, Judge, it should be.
All right, is there any motion to correct that in the motion to revoke state?
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask to amend the MTR to injury to disabled person bodily injury.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Condell, are you the same Frederick Condell who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 0950 for the offense of injury to a disabled person bodily injury on March 1st, 2019 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
State?
Violated condition number 2, on or about the first day of December 2021 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Frederick Condell, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
Violated condition number 2, on or about the 26th day of January 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Frederick Condell, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
Violated condition number 15G, on or about the 20th day of December 2021 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Frederick Condell, did then and there fail to apply for, provide documentation of attendance, and comply with all rules, regulations, instructions, and financial agreements as directed by the court and or supervision officer and or the head of or authorized personnel of the following program, state accredited battering, intervention, and prevention program in violation of condition number 15G.
They plead to that, true or not true?
True.
And we'll waive the other allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, we're very grateful.
All right, we were off the record. And I know that defense is saying they're going to ask for inpatient treatment, but what I can tell you, if your client has open cases, no one's going to accept him until that's solved.
Sure. Go ahead, Michelle.
Judge, there was no agreement in this case as well.
No, and I understand, but I just want Mr. Kuntz and Mr. Condell to know that if I listen, which I will listen to the arguments of both sides, and off the record, my understanding is that Ms. Hayden, my understanding that you're going to ask for revocation, and Mr. Kuntz has already told me off the record that he's going to ask for inpatient treatment. But I want to let Mr. Kuntz know that he's not really available for inpatient treatment as long as these other cases are open.
So just for the court's edification, the aggravated assaults have been dismissed. Okay. All we're left with is one terroristic threat, and worst case scenario, we can get him time served tomorrow or Monday or something like that. So we can, the reality is the victim on the complaint on the terroristic threat is his mother, and she's not going to end up cooperating. So I'm going to try to lean on the prosecutors to dismiss that case as quickly as possible. But if not, we can get him time served.
Okay. So the court was unaware that these other cases had been dismissed. Yeah. All right. Mr. Condell, did you understand by pleading true to violations 2, 2, and 15G, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 2, 2, and 15G?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find 2, 2, and 15G true. Is there an agreement?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking that you enter an adjudication of guilt and revoke his community supervision and sentence him to prison. This is his third MTR. First one, jail sanctions were added as well as UAs. 5 months later, he screwed up again, was already ordered state ISF in parenting classes. So he's already been ordered inpatient treatment. And then this is his third time. He hasn't done his BIP classes. He hasn't been doing his UAs. He hasn't been taking this seriously. We feel that he's exhausted his probation and ask that you would revoke him.
Oh, and what amount of time would you be requesting if the court were to revoke?
We'll defer to the court 3 years.
All right, Mr. Kuntz.
Sure, Judge. I mean, obviously, it doesn't sound good on paper when you hear it like that, but the reality is, and I've discussed this with my client, you can ask him directly, but yes, he did go to ISF, but this was in the middle of the pandemic. And he tells me that they didn't have any instructors or anything. They basically sat around and watched television. He desperately wants rehab. He has a newborn that was born 2 months ago. He has a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old also. His mother, the complainant on the case, the new number one that he did not plead true to, really could use his help because his older brother is special needs and she is the primary caregiver, and it's a 24/7 job. Frederick understands that by going off to rehab, he's going to be away from his family for a little longer, but I was explaining to him all the wait times after meeting with the court's probation officer, the CLO, earlier, and she was explaining to me the wait times for all the different avenues of rehab, whether it's state ISF, county ISF, SADF, et cetera. And he said he understands that, and he really wants help. He's 30 years old now. I think he finally has what it feels like has hit rock bottom. I'd actually like to have him talk directly to you if we can, Judge.
All right, Mr. Condell, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you could state your name for the record, please.
Frederick Condell.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Frederick, would you go ahead and tell the judge what ISF was like for you when you went?
Basically, I waited 5.5 months. I went. There was no classes. No teachers came in or anything. Pretty much everybody just sat around or ran around playing, watching TV. I did my own paperwork, which I chose to do, but we really didn't do anything. I've been in rehab before, and I just didn't see the help there that I did.
Now let's talk about the rehab you went through. What rehab did you actually go through previously?
I went to Haven for Hope at the NIHRP program.
And how long did you maintain sobriety?
For my very first time was for a year.
And how were you maintaining your sobriety? What sorts of activities were you doing to help yourself?
I woke up every morning, went to meditation, went to counseling. I went and did volunteer work. I had a running group that I ran with there 2 to 4 times a week. I volunteered at the warehouse. I maintained 2 jobs at the same time.
Why'd you fall off, Frederick? What happened?
I moved out, and then I got into a relationship, and things went sideways with the relationship, and I ended up relapsing.
Now, obviously you were relapsed at the end of this past year and early this year before you got arrested, right?
Yes, and I spoke to my probation officer about it as well.
And you heard me explain to the judge sort of your position and kind of where you're at mentally, but tell the judge, like, what do you feel right now? What do you think you want? What do you think you need in life right now?
I need to get back onto the wagon, maintain my sobriety, and be there for my kids.
How is this time going to be any different?
Well, hopefully I'll get the help that I need. And I've already put in applications to other places that I can seek help from to maintain my sobriety, even after I get out of the inpatient treatment.
And what facility or what unit have you been in contact with?
Oxford House and Adult and Teen Challenge.
Okay. And so those are sober living environments, right?
Yes, and Adult and Teen Challenge is a 1 to 1.5 year program on campus, focusing just on myself and my faith-based recovery.
Now, Frederick, we also talked about the fact that you have a ton of jail credit, right? And ISF credit. You have well over a year's worth of credit when you combine all of that stuff, right?
Yes.
And I've discussed with you that we could have worked out a deal, whether it's 3 years or 2 years or whatever in TDC, and you'd be paroled out pretty quickly, probably, right?
Yes.
But you still are saying, look, I really need help. Is that what you're telling the judge?
Absolutely. My addiction is something that I have to take care of. Anytime I use drugs, I end up back in jail, and I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for my kids.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge?
That's all.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. State, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, obviously there are a lot of rehab options. They all seem to have a 6-week wait, medical wait, just to even get screened, I guess, and then for him to go in. And so your probation officer was telling me after that 6 weeks, then there's 3 weeks about to get into SATF. There's 3 weeks for county ISF, and then there's about 15 days for state ISF. Judge, honestly, you do this every day. You probably know better than anyone which program fits best for different people. My client is at your mercy, obviously, and he's asking that you give him some help. Any of those options sound fine to me. I'm not really familiar with the county ISF, to be perfectly honest with you, but obviously I've had a lot of clients go through SATF, and it's been very successful for several of them. I've had several go through state ISF. Whatever the court thinks is the most appropriate placement for him, he will accept and agree to those terms.
All right, this is what the court will do. Court will deny the motion, extend your probation for 2 years, alternate amend conditions for SATA. And also have him reviewed for felony drug court. I know there's a wait time, but if felony drug court is available for him sooner than SATA, then felony drug court, he's to remain in custody until he's transferred. And then upon release from either facility, I'm going to want the UA hotline and field visits random 2 times per month.
Judge, which referral do you want me to submit first?
Felony drug court.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome. I'll send you all to breakout room number 1. Ms. Ferguson will meet you in number 1.
Thank you.
Ms.
Sorry,
Reyes?
not Ms. Ferguson, Ms. Reyes.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, what's Norma going to do for us? Thank you.
All right, is anyone else ready?
Judge, I can announce on our case.
Yes, you just jumped around on me on the screen. Let me find you. All right, yes, on Kiana's.
Yes, Your Honor. So I received an offer from Brittany today. We're considering it. However, there's some medical records I need to get from my client. He has suffered a traumatic brain injury and has some mental health diagnosis that might affect the counteroffer we plan on making. So if we can have one reset just to get that information together for the prosecutors.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on David Kiana's, please? And is that in person? All right, so we're going to come back on June 7th at 9 a.m. and that will be in person.
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Are you excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Norma, that's 17B that can go back. All right, and then everyone, John Collins is going to come back on June 2nd. That's when he's due to arrive.
Judge, on Alejandro Rocha, I conferred with Mr. Acevedo.
Yes.
And is it possible that we recall this case for Monday for a plea? We just have, we need to contact the victim about one particular provision that is in contest. And so once we contact her, we should be able to have an agreement on Monday in order to plea.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we recall Mr. Rocha for Monday? And will that be in person?
He's on house arrest, Your Honor, so it'd probably be easier Zoom.
No, our docket is a certain way.
Oh, then
Yes.
in person.
Yeah. No, I'm asking the court coordinator.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
Okay, and yes, it will be in person.
Okay.
And he will need to be in court then on May 16th.
Thank you, Your
At
Honor.
9 a.m. Mr. Rocha, the courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa, 4th floor.
Fair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes.
How do I get it to put me on the regular?
Ms. Wormert? On Rivera?
Yes, Judge, we've conferred with the prosecutor, and at this point, my client is not in agreement to accept the plea bargain.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Rivera, I'll need a jury trial date, please. All right, we're going to come back for jury trial on August 9th. That will also be your plea deadline date, Mr. Rivera. So you'll be brought over to court on August 9th, dressed for trial. You'll be brought over dressed in whatever civilian clothing you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in some other clothing, you'll need to speak to your attorney. And Ms. Wimmert, if there are some issues with the clothing exchange, let the court know, and we'll see if we can help expedite that.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Are the parties ready on Angel Orozco?
Yes, ma'am. I'm assuming Mr. Sanders is ready.
Who is the prosecutor on Angel Orozco?
Marcus.
And Mr. Leal, have you confirmed with anybody?
Yes, I have, Judge. I have an offer, except that I haven't had any contact with my client. I call.
Who's your client?
Is Ignacio Carrion.
Is he on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. I called his family and they told me that they don't have contact with him either.
All right, just one second. Let me take this case up very quickly. Court is calling 2022 CR 3620, State of Texas versus Ignacio Carrion. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense? For the defense, who's representing Mr. Carrion?
Oh, Rafael, yeah, Judge.
We're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
Objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Judge. Is my client in custody?
Right. This hearing was scheduled at 1:30 p.m. It is now 4:42 p.m. Deputy Laura, has there been a Ignacio Carrion in the courtroom at all today? And there's not been I'm sorry? Yes, Deputy Laura is here. She said, no, he has not been. Thank you, Brenna. And there has not been an Ignacio Carrion on the Zoom screen at all. Mr. Leal, have you had any contact with your client?
I have called twice his family, Judge, and they told me that they were going to be talking to him, that they haven't had any communication with him. And I haven't had any contact.
Right, state?
Judge, we're asking that his bond be forfeited and a warrant issued.
That'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If you're able to get in contact with your client and he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Judge. Can I be
excused.
excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 1229, State of Texas versus Angel Orozco. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Keith Engelke.
All right, and are you Mr. Orozco?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Orozco, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled Acknowledgement of Discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Orozco, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're proceeding on count one, waiving count two.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Orozco, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with theft, 2,500 to 30,000 of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is and was.
Mr. Orozco, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am. Very.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count one, punishment at 9 months in the state jail facility. No applications. State will take in consideration 2022 CR 3511. County Court Cause number 683280. No contact with Israel Gutierrez, Erica Mares, Mares, or Nathaniel Sandoval. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that you can appeal are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Then to the offense as charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the plea.
Yes, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Roscoe, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Objection to doing that now, Your Honor.
All right, the court will sentence you to 9 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 2022 CR 3511, County Court Cause number 683280. There's to be no contact with Israel Gutierrez, Erica Maris, and Nathaniel Sandoval. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because the court has followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Roscoe, good luck to you. You know, I'm going to ask you the question that I ask many of people. The tattoo that's on your head, was that painful?
Not really. Hey, they told me you were gonna ask me that too.
You're telling me that didn't hurt at all?
No.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Roscoe. Mr. Roscoe, do better. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Good luck
Thanks
to
so
you.
much. Yes, ma'am.
You have excuse, Your Honor.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Me too, Your Honor.
Yes. Thank you. Tell your cat we say hi.
He says hello.
All right, everyone. I'm going to stop the live stream. We are done for today. However, we do have someone who's new and in the office, so that you all can meet them, who's a new staff person, which is Caroline.
Hi.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi.
So I'm going to stop the